Welcome back to our series, Professional Presentations. In part 1, we mastered the opening, the key that unlocks the door to any professional stage. But once you have their attention, how do you keep your audience from leaving mentally?
That is the real challenge, Elena. Many people lose their audience in a sea of data. We start with energy, but then people start checking their phones or drifting away.
Exactly. If the opening is the door, the body of your presentation is the home. You want your audience to feel guided and valued, not lost in a messy room of bullet points. Today, we transform your delivery into a strategic roadmap. We will cover 5 professional stages, from reporting progress to handling unexpected questions with grace.
I am looking forward to stage 4, Elena. Handling unanticipated situations is a skill every professional needs, from entry-level roles to executive leadership.
It is about power communication. These techniques help you be heard, understood, and respected. Are you ready?
I am ready to keep that engagement high until the very last slide.
Perfect. Let's start with stage 1, the progress update. How do you share achievements without just reading a list? Let's find out.
Elena, I have been working on improving the middle section of my project updates. I usually just list what we did last week, but I notice stakeholders start looking at their phones after the 3rd bullet point. It feels like I am just reading a status report, not giving a presentation.
That is a common trap, David. Many professionals treat the body as information overload, but in power communication, the body is where you build trust. Instead of just what we did, we focus on what it means for the future. Let us move from a to-do list to a value-driven narrative. To make your body section impactful, you need a 3-part structure: the achievement, the impact, and the next step. Let us compare 2 professional approaches.
Option A, the strategic professional. I am pleased to report that we have successfully finalized the core architecture of the project 2 days ahead of schedule. This efficiency has directly reduced our projected overhead costs by 5%. Moving forward, we are now perfectly positioned to initiate the testing phase with a focus on long-term stability. Option B, the visionary leader. We have reached a significant project milestone by completing our initial rollout. This achievement is not just about the numbers, it is about the momentum we have created within the team. This success allows us to accelerate our expansion plans while maintaining the high standards our clients expect from us. Our next focus is to ensure this excellence is consistent across all regions.
Wow, those felt like real substantial segments of a presentation. I noticed you did not just stop after saying we were done.
Exactly, David. Let us break down why this works in 3 layers. First, vocabulary layer. Notice words like pivotal and positioned. Pivotal shows that this moment changes everything for the better. Second, presentation logic. We used the past, present, future flow. This keeps the audience engaged because they want to know what is next. Third, psychological impact. By mentioning momentum and confidence, you are transferring certainty to your audience. You make them feel safe with your leadership. Now, let us turn this knowledge into your instinct. We will practice the visionary approach. Repeat after me. We have reached a significant project milestone by completing our initial rollout.
We have reached a significant project milestone by completing our initial rollout.
Good job. Now the next part. This momentum allows us to accelerate our expansion plans.
This momentum allows us to accelerate our expansion plans.
Excellent. You sound more like a leader already.
I feel much more confident reporting progress now. But Elena, what happens when I need to move from one big idea to another? I do not want to just say, and next, every time.
A very sharp observation, David. A disorganized structure is one where the points do not connect. In the next stage, I will show you the seamless transitions of professional English.
Seamless transitions?
Yes, these are the sophisticated transition phrases that make your presentation feel like a continuous, flowing story. Let us head to stage 2, the logic connector.
Elena, sometimes after I finish a great point, I just jump to the next slide and say next. It feels abrupt, and I can see the audience trying to catch up.
That is what we call a communication gap, David. In professional delivery, you need signposting. These are transition phrases that tell your audience where you have been and where you are going. It makes your body section feel like a structured presentation, not a disjointed delivery. To master this, we use the bridge and pivot technique. Let us look at 2 ways to transition between a problem and a solution. Option A, the analytical transition. Now that we have established the current performance gaps, let us pivot to the strategic adjustments we have designed. This brings us to the core of our solution, which focuses on 3 specific areas of improvement. By connecting our findings to these actions, we ensure a direct impact on our final results. Option B, the collaborative transition. Having looked at our internal progress, I would like to shift our focus to how this benefits our partners. This transition is crucial because it aligns our efforts with the broader market expectations. Let us explore the next phase of our journey together, starting with our enhanced service model.
I noticed those felt very smooth. You did not just say next, you explained the reason for the change.
Exactly. Let us look at the layers. First, vocabulary layer. We used verbs like pivot and align. Pivot suggests a controlled strategic movement. Align shows harmony with business goals. Second, presentation logic. We used the summarize and preview structure. You summarize the previous point and preview the next one. Third, psychological impact. These transitions reduce cognitive load for your audience. When they know why you are moving to the next topic, they stay focused and feel respected. Now, let us practice the analytical transition. Imagine you are leading a team through a change. Repeat after me. Now that we have established the current performance gaps.
Now that we have established the current performance gaps.
Perfect. Now the pivot. Let us pivot to the strategic adjustments we have designed.
Let us pivot to the strategic adjustments we have designed.
Well done. Notice how the word pivot sounds strong and professional. Good job.
That feels much more professional than just clicking the next button. But Elena, what if someone interrupts me with a complex question right in the middle of these transitions?
That is the critical moment. Handling interruptions is what separates a beginner from a master.
Is there a way to do it without losing my flow?
Absolutely. In our next section, I will teach you the acknowledge and reroute technique. It is the secret to staying in control, even when things get unexpected.
I need that. Let us go to stage 3, professional clarification. Elena, this is the part I feel most cautious about. I'm in the middle of a flow, and suddenly a senior manager interrupts with a complex question. My heart starts racing, and I feel like my entire presentation is losing focus.
It is a natural reaction, David. But remember, an interruption is actually a sign of engagement. They're interested. Instead of seeing it as a hurdle, see it as an opportunity to show your expertise. We use a technique called acknowledge and reroute to keep the momentum without being defensive. Here is how you handle a complex question like a true leader.
Option A, the direct clarification. That is a very insightful point, and I appreciate you raising it. To clarify, our current strategy accounts for market volatility by maintaining a flexible reserve. Does that address your concern before we continue to the next section? Excellent. Let us move forward. Option B, the strategic postponement. Thank you for that perspective. It touches on a critical detail that we have scheduled for our deep dive discussion at the end. I would like to address this during our dedicated Q&A session to ensure we cover the broader framework first. I will make sure we return to it soon.
I love how option B sounds. It is so polite, but it clearly says, I'm still in charge. This is so helpful. I hope everyone is taking notes.
Exactly, David. Let us look at the layers. First, vocabulary layer. We use insightful and perspective. These words show you value their intelligence. Second, presentation logic. You are using a buffer. It softens the interaction and prevents you from sounding defensive. Third, psychological impact. By asking, does that address your concern, you are showing empathy. You treat the audience as partners. Let us practice the strategic postponement. This is a lifesaver in big meetings. Repeat after me. That is a very insightful point, and I appreciate you raising it.
That is a very insightful point, and I appreciate you raising it.
Now, the reroute. I would like to address this during our dedicated Q&A session.
I would like to address this during our dedicated Q&A session.
Perfect. Your tone was very calm and professional. Good job.
I feel like I have an effective strategy now, Elena. I am not concerned about questions anymore.
Good, because staying positive is key. But what if you have to deliver some unexpected news or a change in plan?
Oh, that is even more important. How do you say things changed without caused concern?
That requires a very specific linguistic skill. It is called the pivot. In the next stage, I will show you how to turn a challenge into a solution-oriented message.
I cannot wait. Let us look at stage 4, the pivot.
Elena, what happens when the news is not all positive? For example, if a project is delayed or we have to change our strategy suddenly. I am concerned that stakeholders might lose confidence in the direction.
That is a valid point, David. But in the professional world, transparency is a strategic strength. The key is not to focus on the delay itself, but on the strategic adjustment. We use the pivot technique to acknowledge the situation and immediately point towards the solution. This is how leaders maintain trust. Let us look at 2 ways to pivot when facing an unanticipated change. Option A, the solution-oriented pivot. While we have encountered some unanticipated technical specifications that have adjusted our initial timeline, this has actually given us the opportunity to refine our security protocols. As a result, the final product will be significantly more resilient. Our focus now is on maximizing this extra time to ensure a flawless launch. Option B, the resource realignment. It has become clear that the market landscape is shifting faster than anticipated. In response, we are pivoting our resources to prioritize our digital engagement channels. This shift ensures that we remain agile and fully aligned with our customers' current needs. We are confident in the increased flexibility this new direction provides.
I noticed you did not use the word problem even once. It sounded very proactive.
Exactly, David. Let us break down the layers of the pivot. First, vocabulary layer. We use unanticipated specifications instead of problems, and resilient instead of safe. My favorite word here is agile. It suggests that the change is a sign of intelligence and speed. Second, presentation logic. We use the acknowledgement and opportunity framework.
You briefly acknowledge the reality, then immediately bridge to the benefit. Third, psychological impact. This approach creates a sense of stability. When you speak with this level of executive English, the audience feels that you are in total control. Now, let us practice the solution-oriented pivot. Repeat after me. While we have encountered some unanticipated technical specifications,
While we have encountered some unanticipated technical specifications,
excellent. Now, the pivot to the benefit. This has actually given us the opportunity to refine our security protocols.
this has actually given us the opportunity to refine our security protocols.
Great job! You are projecting a very professional and resilient image.
I feel like I can handle any unanticipated news now by turning it into a strategic shift.
That is the spirit, David. But there is one more element to a perfect body section. You have the words, you have the logic, but how do you use your visuals to make your message clear?
You mean the slides? Sometimes I feel like they are just distracting people.
We're going to change that. In our final stage, I will show you how to use visual integration, linking your words to your data so they work together perfectly.
I am ready for the final piece of the puzzle. Let us go to stage 5, visual command. Elena, I often find myself competing with my own slides. While I am talking, the audience is busy reading the text on the screen and they stop listening to me. It feels like I'm just a voiceover for a visual presentation.
This is a common situation, David. In professional delivery, your visuals should support you, not replace you. We call this visual command. It is the ability to direct the audience's eyes to exactly where you want them. This ensures your message has maximum impact. To master this, you need to use directional language. Let us look at 2 ways to lead your audience through your visuals. Option A, the data highlighter. As you can see on the left-hand side of the chart, there is a significant upward trend in our engagement metrics. I would like to draw your attention specifically to this peak in Q3. This visual representation confirms that our strategic adjustments are yielding the results we anticipated.
Option B, the concept connector. Please take a look at the focal point of this visual. It represents the core of our collaborative framework. Notice how the surrounding elements feed into this center. This illustrates our commitment to a unified approach. By looking at the big picture here, we can see why this alignment is so vital.
I noticed that you used phrases like, "I would like to draw your attention." It felt like you were a strategic leader.
Precisely, David. Let us break it down. First, vocabulary layer. We use verbs like draw your attention, illustrate, and yielding. Instead of saying, look at this, draw your attention sounds much more elegant and executive. Second, presentation logic. We use point and explain. First, you point to the visual, then you explain the value. This prevents the audience from feeling overwhelmed. Third, psychological impact. By guiding their eyes, you are showing leadership. You are in control of the energy. This creates a flow that keeps people engaged. Now let us practice the data highlighter. Imagine you are pointing to a successful chart. Repeat after me. I would like to draw your attention specifically to this peak in Q3.
I would like to draw your attention specifically to this peak in Q3.
Much better. Now, the conclusion. This visual representation confirms that our strategic adjustments are yielding results.
This visual representation confirms that our strategic adjustments are yielding results.
Fantastic! You sound very authoritative. We have covered a lot of ground today in Part 2, The Art of the Body. Let us do a quick recap of our strategic roadmap.
We started with the progress update, moving from a to-do list to a value-driven story. Then we learned the logic connector to build seamless transitions between our ideas.
Do not forget stage 3, David. We learned to handle interruptions with acknowledge and reroute. And in stage 4, we mastered the pivot to turn unanticipated situations into opportunities.
And finally, stage 5, visual command. Now I know how to make my slides work for me, not against me.
Your checklist for a perfect body section is simple: logic, engagement, and clarity. If you have these 3, your audience will stay with you until the end.
I feel like I finally have the tools to deliver a substantial professional presentation. Thank you, Elena.
You have done the hard work, David. We have opened the door and we have established a strong foundation. But there is one final crucial step:
What is that?
the grand finale. A weak ending can make people forget a great beginning. In our next and final video, I will show you how to close your presentation so effectively that your audience will feel inspired to take action.
I cannot wait for that. See you in part 3, the closing.
If you found today's session helpful, please leave the word POWER in the comments. Until next time, keep practicing and keep shining. Goodbye.